Welcome to the Daily Podcast. Thanks for tuning in here today. My name is Michelle Sinclair. I'm a divine healer, meaning I help people to physically heal, emotionally heal, all sorts of things. Some people would consider this miraculous because they come and they have some kind of ailment and they leave without it. But what is actually happening is these people who are coming are witness to the love that exists within every single facet of this universe, if we would only but believe in only it. Today we are going to be talking about let them be wrong about you. That's what we're going to talk about. So if ever in your life, I'm sure someone has, heard stories about you or this or that from other people and perhaps got a wrong opinion of you, or a opinion that isn't really you. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter. People can think whatever it is that they want to think, because what is truly going on in someone else's world is their own world. If people accuse you of things, if people blame you for things, if people are annoyed at certain things that you do, every single thing is a mirror to that own person's unawareness of themselves. So let me give you an example here. Somebody was like, you forgot to water the plants and now this plant died. This is an actual real life example of somebody who was blaming somebody else for not properly taking care of plants and getting all mad about it and making a big deal about it, when yet they themselves have murdered so many plants. It's ridiculous. So very often people will say, but when we're unaware of this, we're unaware of this. So people will say something, they'll accuse somebody of something, or they'll say, this person didn't do this, or they didn't help out and do the dishes after supper. Whereas if you were to observe that person, it is indeed that person that doesn't help out and doesn't do the dishes after supper. It is people's own reflections of themselves that they like to put on other people. This is why when you really heal, like when you fully, truly heal and you get rid of all the things that are not love, you then stop accusing people of things, blaming people for things. You view things in a completely different light. If someone came up to you and said, let me tell you about that person over there, you wouldn't even give them 2 seconds to, you might not cut them off and you might let them speak, but you're not listening to a word that they're saying if somebody's saying something negative, because you know that even their complaints about somebody else are actually about them. Once you get in deep enough to the spiritual growth, you realize it is always all about you. That if you have a problem with something, it's not the thing you have a problem with, it's something that you have a problem with within yourself. Now, I know that this can be difficult to explain until you're there, until you get to that deepest level of awareness of self, because until you get to that point, you will blame people for things, and you will truly believe that it is them that has done these things, when indeed it is yourself that you are witness to and that you are actually complaining about. Now you might say, no, that's not true. I'm complaining about Jerry down the road doing too many drugs because he's interrupting this and causing all these problems. Well, I'm telling you, it's still about you. It's your judgment that you have. It's 100% about you, because rather than judging Larry down the road, if that was what I said his name was in the first place, I don't recall. But if that's who you're judging down the road, well, you then don't have time to love that person. So there's something within yourself that you do not love, and you are letting it play out in Larry's life, and you're blaming him for it. And you're saying, well, no, if he would not be this way, then I wouldn't feel this way. Well, then you're allowing Larry down the road to control you, and you actually have free will. So nobody can control you. It might seem this way. It might seem this way, like other people can control the way that you feel, right? You have your ex walk in the room, all of a sudden your heart rate's going up, you're angry, you're pissed off, this and that. Well, you know what? They didn't actually do anything. It's the unhealed wounds that you have from that relationship that have now resurfaced. It's all about you. Maybe they were abusive. Maybe they were a narcissist. Maybe they did all kinds of terrible things to you. Maybe, who knows what it is that they did to you. Who knows? But if you do not heal those things, and realize that all of those things that that person did to you were indeed and truly actually a gift for you, then your perception will change. So very often, let's say that you have gained enlightenment. You got it, you had a flash of it, and you're like, oh, I get it, I understand. So you then change your life in that moment. You've seen things, all the things that you thought, that you wondered, that you whatever, are now confirmed, but on like a much deeper level. You understand things very differently. Sorry if you can hear people talking in the background. Somebody's on a Zoom call here in my house. So you've now changed your perception about things. Now, but here's the deal. It doesn't mean that, and I mean, it could mean this. It depends on the person. But it doesn't mean that you're now then just this absolutely perfect person. I mean, you are. You always have been, but you don't believe that you are, and so it, acts out as if you're not. But saying that you're not this now perfect person, meaning you probably have a bunch of things that you still need to clean house about in your mind. Beliefs, things that you've believed your whole entire life up until that point of enlightenment, that you then need to systematically, step by step, clear out and clean out. It's a never-ending process. And even when we think, oh man, I'm there, because you are, and you're manifesting in 2 seconds and doing this and doing that, and you know that you're in the flow, there's still things that will come up because you're a freaking human, man. So am I, right? We're humans. There will be things, our humanness will come out, and we'll think, oh man, okay, now I got to work on this, now I got to work on that. Now these are good things, because if we got nothing to work on, then, well, I guess that's also kind of a nice thing too, because then we can just focus completely on healing people and on doing good things. But if your intent is wonderful and you truly intend to go out and to love people and to spread the goodness and to whatever, and then you're hearing feedback and people think, oh, you're a weirdo, or you're this or you're that, it doesn't matter. Let those people think what they want to think, because unless somebody is you, they don't know you, right? You could be married to somebody your whole entire life, and they don't really know you at all. They, think that they do, then they might know a lot of things about you, but they don't know you at all. They haven't gotten to your head. They don't know the things that you're sitting there thinking about at night. They don't know you. Even if you are married to someone and you believe, oh no, this is not the case, I know my spouse. Well, you know what? You don't. Because do they know every little thing about you? Do they know every little thought that you have in your head? They don't. They truly don't. And so if your intent is really good, and I don't know, has this ever happened to you before, but that you had a really good intent, but maybe it didn't come out that way. Well, it's like, oh, well, I didn't mean that, I meant this, but this person took this thing this way. What you have then been witness to is that person's own perception, the way that they feel about themselves and their experience in their world. And if your intent was really good, and now all of a sudden this person doesn't like you, even though you were putting out something really good, then what they think, you could explain to them, but if there's no explaining to them, then what they think about you is irrelevant. What somebody thinks about you in their own head is their own business. Now this person, let's say that this person gets a hate on for you, for whatever reason, and you've done nothing wrong. What's going to happen is that person might be thinking some hateful thoughts. And so you might have this person pop into your head every once in a while, and you're thinking, what the heck? Why am I thinking about that person? Like, I have nothing to do with this person. Why are they coming in my head? Well, guaranteed that that person is probably thinking something about you or speaking about you. And so you, because we're telepathic, have picked up on this. You've received the message. You don't know what the message is necessarily, but the vibe that you're getting is like, oh, this is weird. I don't really like this. I don't want this person popping in my head. What's going on here? Now, what's going on in this process is you are receiving this person's telepathic, whatever it happens to be. Now, that person could curse you if they wanted to. They could put some type of curse on you. But if you are a blessed divine being and you're aware of this, there's nothing anyone could do to you. And anything that they try to do to you is going to come back, and it's going to bounce back on them, and it's going to hit them 90-fold what they intended for you. So don't worry about a thing. But if somebody's putting some type of negative energy out towards you, and you've been receiving it, and you've been picking up on it, what is going to happen is not something that's going to happen to you. What is going to happen is something is going to happen to that person. Now, at some point, you're going to stop receiving these messages. That person's going to stop popping in your head. Why? Because at that point, that person has probably received their karma for it. They've probably been talking bad. They've probably been spreading things around. And every little bit of that they did to you, my darling, is going to come back on them 90-fold. They will experience what it is that they have done to you in real time at some point in their life. And I guarantee you that at that point, if they have any wherewithal within them, they will then recognize, I have done this before. And at that moment, they will stop. I knew someone many, many years ago, because I moved to this small town, and of course everybody there likes to talk about everybody. And I remember one of my friends saying, I don't talk about anybody ever because I got in real big trouble with that when I was younger, and I don't say anything to anybody. And I thought, what a wonderful thing that is. What a crappy lesson it was to, talk about somebody and then you have the what for coming back to you, but what a good way to learn, and to learn early on that, hey, maybe I shouldn't be speaking about people in a negative way because it's going to come back. And so this person had this come back to them. Well, what a blessing that is. What a blessing it is, because when it comes back to you, then you realize, I probably shouldn't be doing this to other people, and you've now learned a lesson. And you've now deepened something within yourself, and it's called personal growth. And it happened just like that. Why? Because that 90-fold karma was returned back to that person, and they didn't like it. So that karma that was returned back was the gift. Because it changed that person. The negative thing that came back, that was the gift. So, if you've been experiencing anything like this in your life, people may be thinking about you in a certain way, it does not matter. Let those people do whatever it is that they want. That's their own karma that they're going to have to deal with, and that is none of your business. The only thing that you can do here, if you're perhaps having somebody pop in your head every once in a while, you're thinking that exactly that scenario that I just told you about is playing out in your life, then you can bless that person. Not only are you going to avoid any negative karma that would return back to you if you were to go and do the same thing that that other person is doing to you, but what you have done is you have blessed this person by imagining that person. Think about them. Imagine them under this beautiful divine white light, and imagine yourself sending them heavenly love and illumination so that they will get the light, so that they will understand, and that they themselves will see the wrong that they have been doing. And it is through this process of you giving out the love when that's perhaps not what you were receiving back, that you are now storing up for yourself amazing blessed karma that will come back to you 90 or 130-fold. So there is nothing that you can do. If somebody is out there and they're bad-mouthing you, or somebody doesn't like you, and somebody's spreading all kinds of things around, of course you could talk to them, you could try to correct it. But if you hear something like this and you go off the handle and you lose it and you go back and now you're talking about these people, or you're doing this or you're doing that, now you are storing up for yourself that exact same karma that those people were doing for you. And I'm telling you, my darlings, I'm telling you, my sweetest darlings here, they will get their karma. It will come back to them, so they're not getting away with anything. But here's the deal. If we want to bless people, oh, I hear loud talking in the other room now. If we want to bless people, the best way that we can do that is by giving them only love, even when they are throwing hate in our face, even when they are giving us dirty looks, even when they are throwing insults at us. If we can give them back love, we have done a blessed, wonderful gift. Because let me tell you this here. If you were a bully and you wanted to be real mean to somebody, and so you were just spiteful and mean to somebody, and somebody was really nice back to you, so nice that you felt like, this wasn't what I was expecting. I was hoping to get some conflict here. I was hoping for this. I was hoping for that, whatever it was. And someone was real nice to you. It's going to make you think, and it's going to maybe snap you out of that bullyish mentality that you were in, because you're going to realize, that was weird. I didn't like how that panned out. I was putting out this energy, but yet I got this nice soft energy back. I didn't like that. Well, of course, what we put out, we expect to come back to us subconsciously, whether we're aware of it or not. So if you want to do good and you want to put out some good there, you're going to have good return back to you. But if you want to be a bully and you want to be mean and you want to put that out there, you are going to have that return back to you too. And it's not going to come back exactly the way that you sent it out. It's going to grow. It's going to expand, just like the love does. So if you could focus on only putting out the love, then you're going to only get the love back. Now, I'm telling you, you might think, oh, I've just been putting out the love. It's only the love I've been putting out, and I hope that that's true. But very often, we got brains, we got minds, and very often, we think we're putting out the good because maybe we're just speaking it, maybe we're not, whatever, but we might have thoughts that are popping into our head that are less than ideal. In fact, we might have thoughts come into our head that are really judgmental, and we might stop ourselves when we become aware of those thoughts. I think, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. Oh. And pretty soon you can train your mind so that you're not doing it all the time, but it still will pop into your head. Why? Because how many thousands of thoughts do we have in a day? So many thousands. But if you are not in the constant divine flow and in the state of illumination at all times, then you are in your humanness and your ego will return back to you. And when your ego returns back to you, it's going to have some thoughts that are egoic. And you might be thinking things that are judgmental. And you can catch yourself and you can stop yourself. But even these little things that you've caught and that you've stopped will be returned back to you. But because they're so tiny, they're so minute at this point, because you're only doing it for a second or two, you're only going to get that back in that same amount that you sent it out. And when you see it return back to you, this is the whole deal. When you see it return back to you, do not receive it with anger, receive it with laughter. And think, oh man, right, I guess I was having these judgmental thoughts. Oh, I guess I was doing this. And when you can receive it with laughter, you have now transmuted that energy. You're going to be more aware of it going forward into your life, and you're going to get deeper within yourself and within your soul, because you're going to become more perfect. Now, here's the deal. I said, we're not perfect. Because none of us here right now listening are. But we really actually are. Every single one of us, we're actually completely perfect, and it is only our minds that tell us different, that report to us something different other than our perfection. And because our minds that are, telling us this, they're running these beliefs that they have off of our belief system. So because we believe that we're not perfect, then we are not perfect. But when we shift that belief and we can believe, no, I really am perfect, like I'm made by the divine source. And when you go out and you look in nature, is there any scene that you look at that you're like, oh, no, that's just not right? No, it's all perfect. Everything's perfect. And you are nature, and you are a part of that nature, and you are perfect too. And the only thing that separates us from the trees and from the fish and from the this and from the that is our judgmental minds. It is our free will. Because we can be thinking all kinds of things that are detrimental to us. And those things will be returned back to us and will play out in our life. What you are witness to in your life is what your senses are reporting back to you based on what they believe is there. All based on belief. So when you change the beliefs that you have that are underlying your whole entire system, that you're not even really aware of all these beliefs that you hold within yourself until you take yourself into a subconscious state, and then you can see like, oh, I guess I did think that. Oh, I guess this was more extreme than that. Oh, I guess this actually isn't as bad as what I thought it was. All kinds of things you can see when you take yourself into that subconscious state, all the beliefs that you're holding that are actually dictating every single facet of your life. And so you then intuitively know when you're in that subconscious soul state that all you need to do is shift and change those beliefs, which sounds so easy, doesn't it, my darlings? And when you shift and change those beliefs, then the life that you have plays out completely differently. This is why when people come to me for, let's say, financial abundance blocks or something like that, they will have some type of beliefs that are running under the system. Things like, I don't even know, there's so many I can't even list them all off, but just things like, oh, you gotta work so hard, and you only can get this much, and I only got this much time, and all that, whatever the beliefs are that they got. There's hundreds of them. But when we go in and we clean house with those beliefs, then the results become immediate. Like I'm talking immediate. Your life changes immediately. So I did this for one woman several years ago, and I'll recall it because it's her testimonial was on my website. And she, that week, then got all kinds of free things, was getting all kinds of checks in the mail. Within 1 week, I think that there was 5 things that happened to this woman that was proof of the abundance. And so this woman, when she started working, however many years ago, she made a certain amount. And then she continued to make that certain amount year after year after year after year. And when she worked with me that year, which was maybe around October or something like that, I'm thinking, or September, she then made $20,000 more that year than she had ever made previous. And it is because there was beliefs that were underlying her that were blocking the love from coming in, because abundance is love, right? If love is all that exists, which it is, and you believe in only it, then you will never have a need that is not met, right? You'll never have a need that's not met. So if you have any needs that are not met, it is only because you are holding within you a belief that is blocking that thing from flowing to you. Now, some people are like, well, I don't know the thing. I can't figure out the thing. This is why I'm saying you got to take yourself into a soul state, a subconscious state, and then your answers are there. And all the answers are there. Every answer you'll ever need is there. It will tell you. You'll be like, oh, these are the things that are blocking me. So then you remove those things and you implant something different, something that's more beneficial, and then your life changes immediately. It's immediate. So when we change these beliefs about ourselves, no matter what it happens to be, things will change in our life. Now, this is why it does not matter what other people think. Because what other people are thinking in their head, and yes, we want to be kind, we want to be good, but if our intent is always good and wonderful, then if somebody has a problem with us, it is their problem. It is not our problem. Do not make it your problem. Do not try to solve that problem for that person. That is that person's problem. Because if you are only putting out the good, and your intent is only good, then how somebody else is perceiving that, that's up to them. And of course, we always want to be kind to people. We always want to show the people the love. But if somebody's not giving us that love, then that's that person's problem. They're the one who's going to have to deal with the karma. This is why it doesn't matter. Now, the reason why people care so much about, what other people think about them is because of this is our history. This is pack mentality, right? You don't want to get kicked out of your tribe. If all the people don't love you in the tribe, well, they're going to kick you out and you're not going to be able to survive. So this is a survival mechanism that people want everybody to like them. But here's the deal. Not everybody is on your same wavelength. Not every person that you meet is going to be your friend, and nor would you want them to be, because they're meant to be somebody else's friend. And so if somebody has a problem with you, I'm telling you, it is actually their problem, and it is their perception of their world, it is their perception of you, and it really has nothing to do with you. And perhaps you need to play a role in somebody else's life that is less than ideal in your mind. But by maybe playing that role of whatever it happens to be, some negative character in somebody else's life, if they're committed to spiritual and personal growth, you will help them out by playing that role. And just like my ex, cheating, betraying, doing all the things that he did, what a gift that was for me, playing the bad guy role. Thank you to him for playing that role in my life. What a blessing it was. Thank you to my abusive ex-boyfriend. For being the way that he was, because he taught me so many wonderful things, and through forgiving him, I set myself free and I really changed my life. So all of these perceivably negative things that people are thinking or that they're doing or somebody thinks this way, it's none of our business. It's none of our business. Focus on yourself and focus on the good that you do and put more good out in the world, and you will have more good returned back to you. It's as simple as that. Now, if you were putting out the good and you're saying, oh, I'm putting it out, but I'm not seeing it received back, right there in your statement is your belief. I do good and I don't receive it back. That is your belief that you hold. And so if you continue to hold that belief, you will go your whole entire lifetime giving out the good and receiving nothing back, because you believe that you don't get things back. Now, you might say, no, I don't get them back because I never have. It's been this way my whole life. And I'm telling you, my darling, it is because of your belief. And if you were to change your belief today, right now, in this exact second, you'd have proof of it by tomorrow, that it has changed. So the beliefs that we hold underneath the surface, that we are so not even aware are there, are the most important thing. So here's how you can use this information and better your life. Take yourself into a meditative state, this is how I would do it. I would count from 10 down to 1. I'd do it nice and slow. I would imagine each number as it's going by. Imagine the number 10, let it disappear. Imagine number 9, let it disappear. Do that. Then, how do you feel when you're super relaxed? How do you feel when you're super relaxed? When you're laying in bed at night, do you feel heavy? Do you feel light? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel, I don't know, how do you feel? Pick a word. Then, tell yourself that word 10 times, because this is called autogenic training. So you are actually training your body to do what you want it to do. So this would be like, let's say you're really cold, you can warm your body up through autogenic training. My feet are warm, my feet are warm, my feet are warm, my feet are warm. And as you do this, your feet become warm. So you're going to count from 10 all the way down to 1. Then you're going to do some autogenic training, meaning you're going to tell yourself your word, whether it's comfortable, comfy, relaxed, heavy, light, whatever it is. Tell yourself that word 20 times. You're going to notice that as you tell yourself that word, your body will listen. Have that be your intent, that your body will listen, and it will become more and more relaxed as you're telling it to relax. Now through this, once you get yourself into that state, you're then going to ask yourself, and you're going to have a piece of paper and a pen with you. You're going to ask yourself, whatever area this happens to be, what do I believe about this particular thing? And then you can write it down. And then you ask yourself, what else do I believe about this particular thing? And then you're going to write it down. What else do I believe? And then you're going to write it down. And you're going to get your whole list until you got your whole list. And then when you got your whole list, and you think you actually got your whole list, this is the trick. Everybody thinks they got it. You got your whole list. Now you're going to relax yourself again. So you're going to count from 10 to 1 again. You're going to tell yourself that comfortable word or whatever it happened to be 20 times again. Take yourself down even deeper relaxed. Ask yourself those exact same questions again and see if you get any more. Because sometimes these beliefs want to hide. And sometimes we got to go real deep to find them. So, once you've got your list, then you know what you're working with. You can see all of these things that are not love. Those beliefs that you will come up with are not in alignment with love. They're in alignment with fear. How can you know this? Because anytime that you say whatever belief happens to be there, does it feel like freedom? If it does not, it is not the truth. So then read through your statements one at a time, and if they feel like freedom, keep them. That's a belief you want to hold on to forever. And if it does not, then this is not a belief that is in alignment with the love, and it is therefore not the truth. So it needs to go. Now, there's many different techniques that you could use to let these things go, but go over to the Mental Cleanse series, pick one of those, whatever beliefs happen to be in alignment, and use some of those techniques. So you could just imagine, your subconscious mind works with pictures and images. So if you were to imagine yourself releasing, letting go of the energy of this particular belief, imagine it, let it go. Now imagine letting go of the energy of this next particular belief. Imagine it, let it go. And once you've done that, you've gone through all of them, then you're going to want to replace this. You're going to want to replace it with, I am provided for in every area of my life because love is the only thing that is real. I am provided for in every area of my life because love is the only thing that is real. And you can program your mind, and then you will get proof. Once you work through all of these beliefs and you've let them go, you will get proof basically immediately. I'm telling you, it will be within a day or two that you will be like, what? And it will be undeniable, because it will be something that hasn't happened to you before. Because your beliefs dictate your life, and they dictate every single little area of your life. And so when you change that belief, then your life is going to be different. Something is going to change. You're going to feel it. You're going to notice it. And you're going to, this is weird. This has never happened to me before. And you will have proof. Oh, this is amazing. Which will then be a really good instigator to go in and change the other areas of your life that you are believing things that are detrimental and not helpful to you. Once you see that little bit of proof in one little area, you're going to go, this is real good. I think I want to create heaven in every area of my life, and then you can work to do that. And I'm telling you now, my darling, you're perfect, and you always have been, and it is only the mind that needs to start thinking differently. But this is what I have for you guys here today. I love you so much, and I want you all to know that if you're tuning in here today, that I really do truly love you. And I want you to know that if anybody's ever said anything rude or mean or detrimental or something that you're, feeling, oh, I don't like that this person thinks that way, just send them a blessing right now. Send them love right now. Thank them for the gift of judgment that they have put on you or whatever it happens to be, and seriously, send them love from your heart, and you will feel very differently about it, because anything anybody has going on is going on in their own world, in their own mind, in their own belief system, and it has nothing to do with you. As long as your intent that you're putting out there is good, then whatever comes back to you will also be good. And if you get something that comes back that is not, then you can know that this is karma from the past, and you can recognize it, and you can be like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that. Oh, and you can laugh about it, and you can go forward and not do that same old thing ever again. It will change your life. But that's what I got for you guys here today. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are a loyal person here on my channel and you're here every day, I just appreciate you absolutely so much. You have no idea. I'm so thankful for you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.